take it on, that's what I will say.
Oh, there they are. All right.
And Peyton's here too. Oh, we're all here.
Yeah, we're all here. Peyton's in the wrong seat.
Shall you tap the gavel?
Yeah, he does.
Like, excuse me, get in your seats.
I got somewhere to go.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Doing good. Hello.
I left it for you. You got underneath, you got to push a little secret button. No, he's gonna do it. Every time I have to do it.
Sorry. The town manager is coming. He was out there, and that's, but he's exhausted from his night of no sleep on the air mattress.
I have
I
no
told him he was
idea.
totally excused.
He said Deanna had it under control. I said, I know she does.
There you go.
So are we recording? Are we ready to get started?
I think we're ready to get started.
Peyton was trapped. We have to get him.
Okay.
It's not moving.
All right.
This should be an easy quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm counting.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Historic Preservation and Review Board regular meeting. This is a citizen board appointed by the town council to interpret and uphold the Historic Preservation Ordinance, which is Article 8 of the Abingdon zoning ordinance that protects the historic district of Abingdon. Our aim on this board is to provide a positive bridge between the property owners of the district and the design review process. So we are welcoming you to today's meeting. We appreciate your interest and we encourage public participation in our meeting. Your comments are important to us, to our decision-making process, and if you would, when you come to address the board, if you would just give us your name and your address. But when it comes time for your project, the staff will make a brief summary, so you'll need to hold up for that summary before you come up. All right, roll call.
Mr. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Owens?
Here.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Yeah.
Mrs. White?
Here.
And Mr. Giesler?
Here. Okay, approval of minutes. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding the minutes? I noticed a couple of things. One, under, well, I guess if you go to page 8, with regard to Mayor Webb's garage, at one point we said, in the future, if in the future the garage is proposed to be visible from the public right-of-way, the applicant will return to the board for approval. But then the more we talked, it seems like that it's pretty clear that part of it will be visible and it's an important structure. And so he agreed that he would come back and submit his plans for any garage. So I just think we need to maybe take that out at
Okay.
the top of page 8 because he's definitely going to be coming back for
Okay.
his garage.
Sounds good.
And then on page 10, at the top of the page, talking about the OG or the half-round gutters, there's a statement about a third of the way down that says the proposed gutter would go against the stated appropriate gutter in the design review guidelines and create a discrepancy compared to its surrounding counterparts. I don't believe that's an accurate statement. The guidelines say that half-round are preferred rather than K or OG, unless evidence indicates that K or OG is appropriate to the period, comparable style, and age of the structure. So, of course, this is a brand-new structure, so I guess it's an arguable point, but it's a brand-new structure, so I would say that K or OG guttering is appropriate to the period and style of the structure. So I think that sentence needs to come out.
Okay.
And then there was a motion made by Mr. Owens to deny the request that failed for lack of a second, and that's not mentioned in the minutes. It needs
Okay.
to be there. Okay, are there any other changes or corrections to the minutes? If not, is there a motion to approve them with those changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes mentioned.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Boyd?
Aye.
Mr. Owens?
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
And Mr. Geisler?
Aye. All right, next is a certificate of appropriateness for Joseph and Donna Levine. So we have a staff summary for that.
Gabe's gonna give that.
Gabriel Christopher, Town Planner for the Town of Abingdon. So Joseph and Donna Levine, owners, are requesting a certificate of appropriateness for a tax abatement for exterior changes, in addition in a deck/porch. The applicants received COA approval in May of 2019. Now they are requesting the tax abatement COA approval per section 66-71 of the Town of Abingdon, Virginia. Upon approval by the HPRB, the request will be submitted to the town manager. Staff recommends approval of the request for tax abatement per our analysis of the receipts. The maximum allowed tax abatement is $25,000. And just a kind of a quick summary of it, I went to the site and took pictures, as you can see through your packet, kind of matched up to the plans, and it seems everything's in order. So that's where we kind of came with for approving the request. If you have any questions, I can ask them. If not, I'll step away for the applicants.
Okay, thank you. Did you all have anything you wanted to add to that? Well, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks fantastic. You all did a great job. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I bet you're glad to finally be on that side of it, aren't you?
Oh, yes. 2 years and 4 shutdowns for COVID. and we're ready to go.
And I know that you ended up having to change the color of the siding to white. And that actually looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I asked, I want to thank Peyton very much for designing it.
Ah.
But also, I'd like to thank Byron because Byron came out to the house and took a picture of it and had a program that he did it in the beige and he did it in the white.
Oh.
And based on the picture, we decided that was probably the way to go.
I think so, yeah.
I wasn't pushing them in any direction.
I thought the beige had become unavailable.
It was very helpful to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the request for tax abatement?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Boyd?
Aye.
Mr. Owens?
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
And Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is, okay, certificate of appropriateness, Nathan Berg, for the Summers Building.
Oh.
Gabe will just do a quick presentation and then you got it.
Okay, so the applicant, Nathan Berg of Wahlberg Construction, owner's list applicant, has requested approval of a certificate of appropriateness for an exterior change. The property is located at 201 East Main Street. The exterior change consists of widening what is referred to as the dumbwaiter shaft by 30 inches. The shaft was already approved, but not at this width, so the only request is for the extra inches proposed. And the property is within the Old Historic District, Sub-District 4, so this building's the Summers Building. And so it was approved, and it's gone, I've added the minutes from those past meetings for you to review. But really, all they're really doing is widening that dumbwaiter shaft where you can see it from Court Street, and then the alley that's in behind, they're gonna be widening it to the west direction, if you're thinking. And it's gonna be brick, kinda looks like how the dumbwaiter shaft is here currently. It'll just be widened, that's pretty much about it. If there's any questions, I can
So
start by.
are the windows not changing or anything?
No.
Okay.
So it's just they're gonna be widening that shaft and it's gonna look the same, it'll just be a bigger shaft than previously approved.
Will it cover the windows then, since it's right up to the windows?
It will cover them a little bit, yeah,
The
but
one-
you can't really see the bottom windows per se because of the residence fronting Court Street. So really the only window that you can see that's covered would be the addition that was approved for the
Oh, this-
Yeah.
Betsy,
So-
this picture, yeah.
So it'd be just the new window, but you can't see any of the existing because it's hidden behind the structure that fronts Court Street. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Berg?
David Berg, 28569 Smith Chapel Road, Meadowview, Virginia, 24361. I'll be speaking in Nathan's place today. Nathan's sick. So he's feeling better now, but he's afraid he's still contagious. So yeah, as you can see, the vent pipe for the hood, for various reasons, wound up being larger than what was allowed for inside the dumbwaiter shaft, which was the original plan. So that's required us to run the vent pipe on the exterior, out of the dumbwaiter shaft. And so, yeah, we're you know, whatever you guys think.
So it's going to obscure whatever windows wherever you put it, right?
That's right.
And how wide is the current dumbwaiter shaft? I know you're going to add 30 inches as the proposal, but how wide is the actual shaft now?
The current shaft is approximately 4 feet wide.
So this shows how much more. So that's going to block the windows from the inside.
That's correct.
And the actual vent, is that what shape is that? Is it?
It's round. It's kind of a brick color, about 22 inches roughly in diameter.
So of course, the goal for us is to make any of these types of things as inconspicuous as possible. Does the vent pipe have to be enclosed?
No, it's a 2-hour fire rated, fully insulated, approved for exterior use. So the enclosure is not for its functionality.
So it could just be attached to the dumbwaiter and painted red?
That's right.
Do you have to take the old chimney down, or that pipe?
No,
You don't have
in
to.
fact, I do have, if it would provide any clarification, I do have a photograph of the side of the building that shows the pipe currently exposed in its
Can we
current
see that?
state. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just pull that up. That might help you guys understand.
I'm just trying to work through the process of whether just running the pipe along the dumbwaiter would be less conspicuous than adding a big 30-inch width that covers, basically one of your windows at each floor.
So here's the, see at the bottom, that's the current pipe.
Oh, that's the current one.
That's correct. Now, we're proposing moving to the other side of the dumbwaiter shaft and running it up, and then potentially enclosing it. But you guys, if y'all want to pass that along.
So you're going to run it on the
Pipe is at
west,
the
on the
bottom.
west side of
Well,
the shaft?
so as far as which side we run it on, we can run it on either side. I do believe that Mr. Dalton would prefer it to be ran on the west side.
Yes,
The opposite side of where it's shown here?
Yes.
At the beginning of it?
That's right.
okay. That would make it less conspicuous to his home?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, as Byram said, it's the conspicuousness that is what
That
we're
is
trying,
what we're-
that's
yeah.
what we're trying to do. Oh, I see what it is. Oh, yes.
I'm just thinking, well, that maybe just the pipe would be less conspicuous than adding a 30-inch. I don't know.
Well, the pipe, it looks to me like the pipe doesn't cover the window at all, really, except maybe just
Well,
the.
that's the pipe now.
Yes,
the
but
new one
if
is
you didn't
twice as
clad
big,
it.
right?
That is the exact pipe.
Oh, that's the exact pipe.
So if you didn't, if you took, that's worth discussing.
Yeah. So yeah, the enclosure definitely, it adds width and depth.
But it doesn't, excuse me,
Go ahead.
doesn't touch, the proposed enclosure doesn't touch the face of the building. There's a space
That's
there.
correct.
It shows on the plan.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Well, I'm looking for the plan.
Here's your phone.
This, see, it's,
This right here.
See
Oh,
those?
okay.
But
Oh, I see what you're saying. But still, I guess the point is that the pipe without the enclosure would be less conspicuous and would block less of the window from the inside. Is that correct?
Yeah, in terms of the blocking window, yeah, the pipe would be a smaller.
How much smaller in width is the pipe, do you think?
So you would be about, I would say, 8 inches total.
8 inches total,
Mhm.
as opposed to 30?
Well, sorry, 8 inches smaller.
Smaller, okay.
22 inches diameter.
Yeah.
Versus 30.
Right,
22 round versus 30 square.
right, yeah.
What do you prefer?
That's what I was gonna say, is do you have a preference?
So, as far as, I mean, what we're really just wanting to accommodate Mr. Dalton's needs, because he's being very gracious
Mhm,
to
mhm.
to allow us to do what we've done on his property. And so, as far as our preference, we prefer to have it completed and with everyone happy.
I mean, if you
Well
have to
said.
build a brick enclosure, how much is that gonna slow you down?
It's not brick,
Oh,
is it?
Right, so the enclosure, because
Frame.
to keep,
oh, frame,
because
okay.
the brick thickness would add a lot more inches. So, yeah, I mean, that is definitely more work.
Does Mr. Dalton prefer the brick? Or does he had a comment about it?
So I
Because he'll be the one seeing it more so than what we see.
right. So I know for sure, whatever was in his view shed, he preferred to have the brick. I'm not sure if the enclosure on the west side is something that it is important to him or is assumed to be important to the appropriateness. I'm not sure.
Can I double check something real quick? In this image, it just looks like it says like there's an exhaust duct right here, which is the round. And then there's a fresh air duct. It's almost as if there's two things that would be going in that new space. And then the dumbwaiter's here. So I just want to be clear if there's actually two pipes that would be running.
Right, so if
or
if
not.
we were to actually run the fresh air return duct, then that would be larger. I'm not, I guess this plan view doesn't quite match the other little plan that you'll have.
Okay.
I guess the alternative to running the fresh air return duct up with the exhaust is having the fresh air down low near the ground.
It doesn't have to go all the way up, is what you're saying.
Right, does not have to. I do think that Mr. Dalton was, I'm not sure if he had a strong preference either way. On one hand, you have a fan motor down there, which would.
So just looking at that right-hand picture there, so what you're saying, I guess, is if this ductwork was going up the east side of the dumbwaiter, that would be visible in his courtyard behind his
Right.
house, but if
Right.
it goes on the other side, it's not going to be.
That's correct.
No matter whether it's the brick enclosure or just the painted pipe?
Yeah, I believe on that side it would be hidden by the dumbwaiter shaft.
Yeah, okay. But to clarify just a second ago, so the material that you're proposing to clad it with is not brick?
Right, because that would make it much larger.
Yes, okay. So what is it?
It would be
Um,
it would be a stucco.
Stucco, yeah.
And is the dumbwaiter brick?
Is the current dumbwaiter? No, it is also stucco.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and so, and you would paint it the same color as the,
Yeah.
okay.
And the current stucco, which is what we would do if we continued that out, is a dyed cement with, so, you know, the color goes down.
You want to weigh in on this?
Do you have a preference, Alex?
They do a nice
Smart.
job.
Well, I will say this, just to interject it. You all have really done a wonderful job of blending everything in. I mean, the cornice up there, that brick has now, looks like it's been there forever. All of those details that you
Looks
put.
great.
I mean, it is a masterpiece
Thank you.
of renovation to fit in. It really
I
is.
appreciate that. And
Nathan and David at Wahlberg Construction's done an excellent job.
And the inside is spectacular.
yeah,
So we just have this last little piece.
We
It's,
just
I mean,
gotta-
it's the same exact question. It's what's going to be the least conspicuous, yeah.
Personally, I think the stucco shaft would be less conspicuous than the pipe, in my opinion.
I think I disagree.
Yeah, I think I disagree too.
Just because it would be bigger.
Right. Would it be helpful, and I don't know if, how soon y'all could reconvene, but if we did a rendering showing it both ways?
Do you have time to do that?
To me, I think the pipe looks like it's an afterthought where the addition to the dumbwaiter doesn't look like, I mean, from the inside of the building, it is gonna look like an afterthought. But from the outside of the building, which is what we approve, to me, would look less like an afterthought than having the pipe run up the side of it.
See, I'm thinking that from the outside, it's not going to make too much difference one way or the other. And then but I think from the inside, it is going to make a dramatic difference.
Well, those windows are so beautiful, it sort of seems like a shame to cover them up.
I mean, if it was going to make a dramatic difference outside, I think that would take precedence over the view, but I think that, I think that shaft being 30 inches bigger and then blocking what would otherwise be a symmetrical window arrangement around it is going to be conspicuous. I think that's going to look not quite right. That's going to be, why would you
Well, it's
make
le-
this
it's
shaft
less
that
of a
covers half of
difference.
your window?
Than I imagined it to be.
Right.
That's only about
So-
8 inches.
And it's kind of tricky, obviously, when you're doing a rendering, to kind of really portray the visual impact fully. So it might be, or I'd say if it would be helpful to
Yeah.
kind of see it both ways.
Well, since this is a new idea, I think it's worth, if you've got the time, to me, it's worth the delay in our decision-making.
Sure.
It would allow David Dalton and Alex Martin to get in on it and
Yeah.
decide what is really going to look the best from the outside. I mean, as Mike said, it's the outside that is what
Right.
we're supposed to be concerned
Is
with.
there any way it can go deeper? Does the shaft have to go on either side? It can't
Well,
come out this way?
so that would impede on Mr.
On
Dalton's
his-
addition that he
Okay.
is planning on building. So we've definitely already squeezed him
Very used
that
every
way.
inch.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay. Well-
And he's been very, very patient and gracious, so we definitely don't want to cause any harm.
And now,
I
there
don't
will be
understand.
something on the top of this.
So, yeah, it'll actually turn back to go over the fourth floor roof. And that's where it'll have its exhaust, so you won't really see the exhaust.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, if you
I
could,
don't mind it.
You would see the turning back, though. I think if you are going to do a rendering, I think that should show
I
the
think
piece
you're
going
right,
back.
because whether it's enclosed or it's not, you will see that turning out, so that's a good point.
But if the pipe were 30 inches, and you put one here and then the 30-inch square one here, because of the way a cylinder recedes, it would appear smaller even if it's the same diameter as this square 30. So if you've got a 22-inch there,
It's going to even be smaller.
it's going to be
Even
more
smaller.
diminished in appearance, I think. I mean, but We'll wait and see.
I definitely think this is really worth it to explore,
Yeah.
to see which one would be the better one.
Are you able to wait till our next meeting, or do we need to do it sooner?
Well, when is your next meeting?
A month.
Month? Yeah, we're hoping to try to have the restaurant open, within a month, so that.
We all want the restaurant.
Yeah.
open.
Right, so,
Well,
and
we can
everything's-
have a meeting
We can have a
whenever you
meeting.
want.
Okay, because everything's pretty much done on the inside, so just little things.
Okay, well, just let us know when you've got your drawings ready and we can
Okay.
get back together.
And I mean, we could get those ready super fast, so if y'all want to just go ahead and pick the next
Should we
year's date.
pick a week from today?
Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
It's fine with me.
Do we have time for notices?
As long as it's next week, correct?
Okay.
Which
Okay.
means you might, because we have another person who came here tonight who also wanted it. I just wasn't sure because we have all the stuff on the 18th, if you all were willing to have basically three days in
Well,
the
we can
month of
do
August.
that. We can do that.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
That's why we're volunteers.
I have a meeting or all-day meeting in Canyon County that day, I'm not sure. I'll be
On Wednesday?
back.
On Wednesday?
Yes. But
We could do it Tuesday or Thursday. I mean,
Tuesday or Thursday?
could you all do it on another day?
Mhm.
I would like Peyton to be here to weigh in on it because of his.
I mean, I could do either the 9th or the 11th, but sorry, the 10th.
I
I'd be
could do
afraid I
either
wouldn't
the-
get back in time.
I could do the 9th or the 11th.
I can do the 9th or the 11th.
I could too.
Why don't we just do the 9th then?
Yeah.
That'll be Tuesday.
That'll be-
Is that enough time?
That's what- yeah.
I have to advertise tomorrow for the
Okay.
9th, yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That one?
All right.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I need to do some sort of special sign out?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay,
Nathan?
and then next we have, oh, do we have something added?
So the only reason there's something else in your packet is because I wasn't sure if you all would be willing to meet again. There is another item that got submitted yesterday, but if you're willing to meet next week, it's more appropriate if we go through the process of having it on an agenda and all that. I just wasn't sure.
Is this the person here for it?
This number
That is
three-
what they're here for, yes.
Number 3.
Well, should we go ahead since you're here?
If you could, I drove an hour to get
Yeah.
here,
Yes,
Oh,
that's all,
yes, by all
definitely.
means.
Yeah, I
By
think
all
we're-
means,
Definitely,
yeah.
okay,
if possible.
okay. Do we have a summary?
Nope, they just
Okay.
got turned in.
Well, you
so-
want to just come up and tell us about your project then, if you would? This is how we used to always do it anyways.
My name is Jeff Easterling. I am speaking on behalf of Brad Kinder, who is putting Healing Waters Counseling Center at 112 East Main Street. Reason we submitted, I just got involved in this project, actually on Monday. He had a prior contractor who was supposed to be taking care of things, and I guess dropped the ball and did not do that. The roof is leaking on 112, and he's already done the interior, and we didn't bring pictures of that, I'm sorry. It busted through the ceiling though and ruined that room again after we already got it done.
Oh.
So they're gonna have to redo that, and hopefully we don't have any more leaks after that tremendous rain that we had yesterday. I haven't went back to the property to see.
What is 112? Is that the
It's right
Mallory
beside
house?
Goodman's Jewelers.
That's the house that's
Mallory
needed a
house?
roof for a long
It's needed a
time.
roof for a
Yeah.
long time.
So everything that we have got, it's, you know, it's supposed to be what you require.
Uh-huh.
And the gentleman said he could start on it next week if we could get it approved.
Okay.
And it's an emergency situation that's a leak. I don't know why he didn't really try to get the roof before he got the inside, just sort of got it backwards. But that has happened and
So is it going to be a standing seam
Yes.
roof? And
it's
A
like
true-
a
a
matte
true
black,
standing
too.
seam.
Yeah, true standing
no,
seam.
no striations, is that what we're calling it?
You're not supposed to be able to see no screws, no
Okay,
nothing.
just so it needs to be
Yes.
totally
Yes.
flat between the ridges.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
None of that.
Right. He
Okay.
said he actually upgraded from It's not gonna be like what's on Goodman's Jewelers. He said it's gonna be like what's on most of the churches and things around here, the true standing
The
seam.
true standing seam,
Yes.
okay.
Do you have a sample of what it's going to be?
There's pictures.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
picture like on a house, what
Yeah, I
it
see
shows,
it.
and then the gentleman is actually sort of pointing to the color. That's all we could get him to.
Wow, that does
Now,
look good.
now what about these horizontal, I guess they're to keep snow from, are you,
The
I
snow
see that in the
guards.
picture, you're not
The
gonna be
snow
doing that?
guards.
I don't, I mean, if we don't need to, I mean.
Well, I don't think
That's
those
It's
would
like
be.
on Goodman's Jewelers, they've got some things like that too to stop this. That's for ice and stuff.
It is.
It doesn't take the
There's snow
gutters
guards.
off.
But I don't think those bars would be,
Well, not necessarily the bars. I think there's some other smaller things that are not as,
They're on most houses.
yeah,
yeah,
cleats.
the
Yeah.
cleats are, yeah.
Yeah.
The cleats would
Okay.
be fine, but not at those
Well,
bars.
we'll tell him to do whatever it needs to be
Okay.
done to make it right with you guys. If it
Okay.
needs to be cleats, and I don't like those bars either.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
modern looking.
yeah, I mean, it just needs to be a true standing seam, and that's it.
Yep, and it's a matte black.
Matte black, okay.
True, yeah, it's not a glossy black, it's more of a matte finish,
Okay.
standing seam, and then like I say, we'll do the cleats. We'll tell them definitely do the cleats instead of the
And
big bars.
there are a number of those cleats around to look at as
Yes.
models, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think Goodman's Jewelers has the cleats on theirs, so.
The only thing that makes me a little nervous is I agree that we need to move forward with getting a roof on there is not having a sample of what exactly it is, because a lot of people say it's a true standing seam when it's not a true standing seam.
Yes.
So that would be my only reservation, and I don't know if you could give them a copy of a sample of what it actually is to make
Actually,
sure
a
that
piece of metal,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
if I can get a hold of a piece, I'll gladly do it. The guy is, I think in Rosedale
In Rosedale?
is where he's located at.
And we also could tell you a sample right here to look at as you go out the door. I think this roof right across the street is a true
That's,
standing
yeah,
seam.
now he
isn't
said
it?
it was supposed to be exactly,
If that's what it is.
yeah, it's supposed to be
Yeah.
exactly that, because that's what me and Gabe were talking about last night
Okay.
when the
Yeah.
downpour rain hit.
Okay.
The reason we're being so specific about this, if something goes up and it's not correct, will have citizens coming in demanding
Especially
that
in
we
that
require that you
location.
take it down.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So-
No,
And,
I
and
completely.
we'll be pushed to do that.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
completely understand you.
Right.
I want it done right.
Okay,
We do.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so do we, go ahead.
Is this the type that's actually rolls off a roll and there's a machine that does the,
The crank-
creates the
I think
seam
he
as
is
opposed
supposed
to
to cut it on location,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
and then a machine that makes folds over to make the standing seam.
I would be afraid to answer that question because I'm
Well,
not 100%.
Because, there are also systems where that's a separate piece that just sort of clumps
Now,
down. But it
according
sounds
to-
like it's gonna be the kind that
He
is
paid an
done on the
extra,
job.
he was going to extra so many thousands to get a true standing
Okay,
seam.
so he's aware of the issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it might behoove him to drive over here and make sure that that's what he's doing, to
Okay.
look at one. I mean, unless he's already done it, or you can do it for him.
Or take a picture on your way out of here tonight.
Apply for tax abatements.
Okay, I can snap a picture of it
Yeah, and
right
then
here.
just
Yeah.
let my arm see
No,
the
yeah.
material.
I knew that he had talked to this gentleman who was going to do the work, and he's very booked up, and that's the reason he said if we don't get him,
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna put us off so many more
Oh, right.
months.
Do you know who it
need to
is?
get on with that.
I don't know,
Cornett?
and like I say, and I'm on here on behalf of Brad Kennedy, who
Okay.
is the owner, and I'm trying to do this, but he's in Charleston, South Carolina
Okay.
on me, so we've been communicating via text and everything, and it's a little bit of a headache. Because I haven't got to meet with this guy personally, I would like to have, but I did not.
Well, this isn't actually an easy thing for us to approve, as long as it is exactly that.
Yeah, because I told Brad, I said, we've got an office in Withville. He had to deal with the historic board there. They're not as, they don't. They don't care as much, apparently.
Oh, well
apparently.
said. Well
Okay.
said.
And then he's got one in Cedar Bluff. They don't have such a thing as a historic, it's just whatever you want to do pretty much. And then he has one in Wise, which is not even, he usually will pick a historic home and fix them up. And he tries to make them look, he did have a black roof put on the one in Withville and so on and so forth. But I told him, I said, you just can't go do what you will please, because they will make you rip that roof back off and make it right. So I told him, you just can't, shotgun it.
Thank you for saying that.
Do that. So I cooled his horses on that. I mean, of course, I'm on his side, but I'm on your side
Yeah.
because it's gotta be done right.
Right.
Yes.
Okay? I was gonna look and see, he sent me the gentleman's name, I thought. He has sent me so many things. Maybe he hasn't. Let's go back.
They could also make a motion for true standing seam, and you could just give us a sample.
That'll
Okay.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because if
that'd
it's
be
not
fine.
gonna be true standing seam,
We're gonna be
it
hurt.
won't be allowed,
We're gonna be
so,
hurt. I
yeah.
mean, that's it. I mean, it's,
That-
yeah, and it
that's
is
fine.
supposed to be by, everything that gentleman is telling Brad is supposed to be true standing seam, because we told him it had to
Right.
be
Okay.
that.
Well, is there a motion?
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, not yet.
Go ahead, sir.
Are you keeping the existing guttering, or is that to be replaced?
I believe he's keeping existing guttering.
Okay.
I think it's only the roof that, do we have that picture? I seen a picture of that. Go ahead, yeah. As far as I know, nothing else is being touched. It's just the roof.
He may not be aware that he would qualify for some tax abatements on.
I actually asked him about that. So as long as we keep
Receipts.
receipts,
Mhm.
okay? Because I asked him about some other things. He said, no, I don't keep no receipts. I throw them away.
What?
Yeah, trust me. Love him to death, but he's a different guy. So,
He's probably never been given this option. We're,
Right, I've got
the
a
town of
form
Abingdon
for-
is very proud of being able to offer that.
yeah, I do have one of those forms for tax abatement.
Yes.
So is that, I can't tell, is that half round or is that OG?
Looks like it's white, half round,
Oh, it is half
It's,
round.
it's half, yeah, it's half.
It's half round,
but
okay.
it's there and it's been approved
Yeah,
previously, so.
yeah.
Yeah, the only place we've got a leak that I am aware of is on the back side of the house right there.
You haven't been
that
in there
room.
today, right?
So-
You may wanna walk over there after this and make sure. That was some rain.
Yeah, I might have took a picture of what it was before that rain and sent to Brad. But,
Well, as you say, we care a lot about our historic district, but
Well,
we do offer these nice gifts the town does for people who do it right.
yeah, and I mean, that's right, and y'all got a very nice town. I wish our town was like, I live in Richlands. I wish our town was half as nice as Abingdon, so you still take pride in it and you care, so
We do.
that means a lot.
We do, yeah.
It really does. Now, I don't know, this is the main emergency, and the other thing can do like what she said when it's.
Do you want to come back to, they also want to try to talk about the sign that you all approved and make it
Has he already
bigger.
been before you guys
Yeah.
about the sign, and I know he wants a big sign, you ain't gonna do big sign, and I told him, but
Yeah.
we downsized it some, but you let me know, and then I'm gonna,
It's gonna
It's
have
in our
to be
minutes.
the 4 square
The new
feet
sign?
Mhm.
or what, or
so
smaller.
he was what, wanted 5 by 5 of it, is that right?
He wanted 3 by 5 originally, and then they approved 2 by 2, and then
Or
as far as
equivalent.
I put back a 3 by 4.
3 by 4 was what you're
Cause
suggesting.
he is, and like I say, I ain't trying to poke, I just gotta work for him and do, hang on. I
See, the
gotta-
problem is if we let him do it, then we
Everybody
haven't opened the
starts.
floodgates.
Yeah. I think he was looking at, there's a sign down here that's a realty company that hangs out on a light.
Yeah, but that, we told him that, I think that
That's
sign
not
is
in
not in the
historic.
historic district, is that correct?
It's beside the barter right up from us.
John's sign?
Hang on, I'll tell you,
John's.
I've got all
John
this
the Hat?
stuff. And then on the other side, the Urian Associates, I don't know, I'm just, that
Car-
sign.
The Cary Street Partners?
No, it's,
See, that's small.
But, yeah, the bracket might be a little bigger, but the actual sign is,
the Mahaffey Agency.
Oh, okay.
Where
This
is
one,
that?
anyway.
This way?
That sign.
Oh, all right. That's it.
That's between the barter and us. And that's
how long
what-
have they been, that sign?
This
might
right here.
been-
That right there.
And
Well, so how big is that sign, do we know?
It's, I don't, we would have to measure
He
it. It
has-
doesn't really look that big.
49 by 34, he
And
measured
he's
it.
been over and measured it?
Including the exterior pieces or the actual sign?
He says the actual sign, but I didn't measure that myself personally, so. And then the attorney's sign, which I don't know, he was measuring, he was saying a 35 by 25, so almost a 3 foot by 2 foot.
Is that, what's his name?
I don't know where that
That's
is.
the Uri and Associates sign.
Where
But
is
I've
it?
seen a lot of those kind with that bracket around for
Yeah.
Y up here, and then you see the sign in the middle of it. I think the Tavern's got one like that,
Yes.
Uri, and maybe a few more around town.
Those signs have been there probably as long as I've been here.
That's what I told him, they might have
Over-
been
over 30
grandfathered in.
years.
or
I think this is
something
either
of that
my
nature.
maybe my third double term on this board. I know those signs were there before that.
And I told
so
him that, yeah.
Those are, I mean, and plus, I'm not sure that they're that much, the bracket makes them bigger, but I'm not sure the actual sign.
Right.
Okay,
Here we come to it.
We're pretty strict on our sign policy.
right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I say, I just want him to get the place open, and, you know, I don't wanna sit and fight and bicker over.
I think the tavern was done back, what, in the sixties or, seventies maybe?
Yeah, there's, see, that's the same kind of
70s.
bracket.
And this, we weren't even formed till when, 72
70, I think,
or something?
something like that.
Yeah.
I
So-
mentioned it.
So that, I bet you that's not too big.
I
Bet
mentioned
you
to
it
him
measures
about
right.
the bracket. I said, why don't you have one of those made and fix
I
your
mean, if he
sign?
wants a historic looking bracket,
To match
that's
like that.
probably not, we could probably do that, but the actual sign.
And then y'all got a picture of what he wants,
Yeah,
that sign.
yeah.
See, and that's what he's got at all of his offices. And then he even puts his doctor's names or whatever under it, but he's not gonna do that here because he knows he can't. But whoever makes his sign acts like that he can't do it in a 2x2 and make, I think it's 31 letters counting spaces.
It's 2 by 2 or equivalent area, so it could be 1 by 4.
Right, he's saying it.
It doesn't have to be 2 by
It could
2.
be a 1x4.
Just so it's the square footage of 4 square
The
feet.
total
The
square
total.
footage.
The total,
Let me talk and then we'll try to get back on.
okay.
Because the sign, he's hoping to get open by September. He originally wanted this open by this month, but we're nowhere near there. So I've had to hurry those contractors up quite a bit inside, so.
Okay.
The roof's the main thing right
Yeah.
now. Like I said, that's the emergency. I just didn't know if y'all did wanna, I just wanted to get y'all's input on that sign
I
too,
mean,
so I got some.
we've already voted on that sign and approved it, and it's in our minutes of what we told him he could do.
A 2x2 or a 4x1.
And-
So if he
It
wants
can-
to change that, he's to start all over with
Gotcha.
that.
Whatever shape he wants, as long as it's not over 4 square feet. It
4
doesn't
square
have to
feet.
be rectangle or square, it can be oval, it can be long with a hump in it.
He's gonna have to get creative with
Like
this
you see
sign
this,
guy.
you see this one here? I mean, this is kind of more of like a 1.5 by 3.2, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as long as it's 4 square feet, but this has a lot of letters probably in that same square footage,
Where's that
so.
one actually at, so I'm not.
It's on Valley,
Corner of Valley and Cummings.
Cummings.
I'm not real familiar with.
Basically, if you just went right up here to Cummings and took a right, and then
One
it'll be right
block.
there, one
This
block on the
one
left.
goes-
All right.
But, yeah, there's other signs down here that have quite a few letters on them.
Yeah.
I think there's some
Okay.
more down here, but you can take a look, and they're pretty innocuous,
Mhm.
and then also they have a lot of letters on them, so.
Okay.
um,
Yeah, you know,
Where else?
Brad is Brad. And I just want to try to get him going, because that's what needs to be happening instead of bickering over a sign, you know.
Well, can we do the motion for the roof? Are you comfortable with that?
If you all are ready. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the roof or the material as long as it's a true standing seam.
I'll get with the
Which
guy
he
and
can,
bring it, yeah.
In the specified color?
and the black,
The
whatever.
matte.
It was something stealth black or something. it was called.
That's supposed to be the color, but it's supposed to, stealth black is supposed to be a matte
Okay.
finish.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there roll call?
Mr. Boyd?
Aye.
Mr. Owens? Mrs. Hartshorn?
Aye.
Mrs. White?
Aye.
And Mr. Geisler?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
Appreciate
much.
you guys
Yes.
for hearing me today on
Yes.
that.
Thank
Really
you.
do.
All right.
All right, that'll get us,
He's got a fine house there.
yeah,
Can't hear you.
I mean, it needs a little love, but it's gonna get there. So, 'cause he's redone the inside completely. And we're trying to get they're gonna have to make the baseboard. They had to go get 1x10 boards, and they're gonna have to make grooves and cuts to make it match the existing, because he wants it all to tie in, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, you can't, well, I guess that, the one guy said that he thought that was probably made specifically for that home. Because actually, there's 3 different types of baseboard in that house. You go to one room and it is 8 inches, and then it's fancy on the top. You go to another room and it's 10 inches and it's fancy on the top. So
No, so there's a
that home was,
gallery.
what, 18?
I'd say it's probably 1880 or so.
I'm not sure.
That's what I would guess.
I would guess.
Yeah, they said the inside is horsehair and,
Yeah.
The plaster?
Yeah.
You can't see
Horsehair
driving by
plaster,
so
yeah.
much as
and
standing
red
back.
mud.
I
See,
think.
it's confuses stuff
All
now,
right.
that
That's
confuse
neat.
you would never see.
Mhm.
I appreciate all your
Okay.
time, Gabe. Thank you for all your help.
Thank you for driving over.
Thank you. Okay, so, we have no public comments, discussion. I guess we need to talk about our meeting, do we?
Or
The
we
next
could pick
meeting?
up some packets.
Yes, we do need to pick up packets.
For handing
Oh,
things
yes.
out, we brought them along.
Oh, great.
I got mine.
Some people have been,
Some people showed up when
have
they were
done
told
them.
I have an item that I'd like just to bring out for a brief discussion.
Sure.
My clients at one, get the address, Darius Clifton and Marty Alloy. She called me a week or two ago, and they want to pave their little parking area with a hard surface, because she's had hip surgery and walking in uneven surfaces, i.e. gravel, is difficult. So I was looking at our guidelines do permit brick and concrete and asphalt in rare occasions, and which we did on your house. So it says brick pavers. The old guidelines said brick or concrete pavers, but they're sort of interchangeable. I just want to make sure when I show her samples and we recommend something to bring, that it's something that everybody's going to be comfortable with. These are just a few I pulled out of the Google search today, and even the ones that are concrete colored are called pavers, brick pavers. So I just don't want to be limited to something that's brick colored necessarily.
Oh, okay. Now, where is this?
Behind Rachel's house.
I mean, where in there?
Right behind, there's a 2-car parking space.
Where they're parking now?
Yeah.
You're not talking about for the garage they want to put there?
Yeah, they're not going to do the
Oh, interesting.
garage, at least not anytime in
Uh-huh.
the near future.
Well, that's kind of nice. Okay.
Those come in multiple sizes too,
Yeah, and
2x2s
And I think they should put it on a slab and not like on a sand or a gravel bed, because over time that will move
Is it flat there now?
ish.
I can't think where it is.
They're hard.
Well, it's on the
It's gonna come off
church
of-
parking lot.
Oh, next to your house,
No,
and
No.
Betsy's house.
oh, I thought you
Oh.
meant
No, the church, the Methodist church parking lot,
Okay, behind it,
beside it.
beside it, okay,
the building that was the shop that I renovated
yeah,
for Rachel. She lives there, Rachel
Yeah.
Folks.
and then.
Right
that-
behind her.
Okay,
And they share
that parking lot there.
a 2-car space there.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So she'll have to be involved
I
and
mean,
approve
that's
it.
fairly flat.
Well, it needs, if it has just the slightest slope out onto the,
So is this gonna be a portion of where the asphalt parking lot is currently between the Methodist Church and Rachel's?
well, it would stop just at the property line.
Is the property, is the property line sort of down the middle or something?
No, there's an alley there,
Oh, okay.
Chinkopeen Alley.
Yeah,
So the property line is where the fence comes down and pretty much where Rachel's fence around the
Oh,
patio.
okay.
So it wouldn't protrude into that alley.
Parking
Oh,
lot.
I see.
Because once you get to that, you're on hard asphalt.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, I'll bring something at some point.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else we need to?
So is anybody, I'd like to
Maybe it
ask
didn't-
anybody if
we didn't do it.
anybody has made any calls on anybody yet. You have?
They said they would consider it.
Uh-huh.
Who'd you talk to?
Westfall and Simcox.
I met.
Did they say they would come?
No.
Oh, they said they would consider coming.
They would consider the thought.
The thought.
I've invited Janet Olwine and Tommy Schrader. Don't know in either case.
Have you given them one of those?
No.
Okay. I've had a.
I sent this.
I've had a preliminary.
Well, did all these people that we're contacting didn't get notified by mail?
We've sent out the notice.
Done that.
I got mine by mail.
You did
To
good.
the residents of the district.
Of the district, yes.
I didn't get one, did I?
And of the potential expansion or
did you
just
get
the
it?
It was
current?
in my mailbox.
Today?
Whatever that is.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is these people aren't
just
in the
recently.
district, so did they get one by
They did
mail?
not, because you all were going to
Oh, so
contact
they won't know anything
them.
about it till we talk to them.
Well, that was kind of what we all
Okay.
Yeah.
chatted about.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, I've had a preliminary conversation with George Reese. Who knows him? One of you did. Who told me that?
Where is he?
He is the one that's in Mabel Kreger's house, in our 300 block. You know, by the stream,
Yeah,
the cabin type on the
Oh, yeah.
south side of the street.
Yeah.
yeah.
And somebody was gonna go with me and talk to him. I forgot who it was. Maybe you, Byron.
I think it says, let's see.
But at any rate, I've had a preliminary conversation with him, not about that, but just generally about how nice it is to be, down in the historic district. And I will, follow up with that soon, and I probably could just do it by myself unless somebody wants to go with me. That one right there, yeah.
Oh, that, yeah,
Mhm.
we were going to go. yeah,
You
on
were?
that one, I thought you were talking about
Oh.
on this side.
Uh-huh.
What about-
My time is pretty limited right now.
Well, maybe Byron can just walk down and meet
I'll go
there.
with you. We could just get together and
We
do it.
can.
like-
Mike, are we gonna try to see Jan together, or just, do you wanna just do it, or I can come if there's a time I can do it?
Who are you looking at?
Jan Hurd, Mike.
Oh.
Might be nice if we could both do it together. I'll get up with you. It's probably best for me on the weekend. Is that okay with you?
If I'm not doing something. I mean, I'm not going anywhere in the next few weekends. I have a client meeting on the 13th, Saturday morning.
Do any of you, know Hugh Belcher at all?
I do.
Well, maybe you and I could keep on walking down and talk to
Okay.
him too.
I see
Okay.
we've got a lot together, so maybe we'll just
Yeah. That's right, we've got that.
do the circuit.
Yeah, I know, we can do that. I can do it this weekend for sure.
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see Whitley come out to her garden so I can grab her and talk to her.
Okay.
She was my other person.
All right, and so.
I can talk to Ramsey, I talk to him often.
But we'll have a meeting next week, so we can do an update then.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else we need to discuss?
Well, do you have any kind of an idea how many people to expect? No one's RSVP'd or?
I mean, yes, maybe maybe 15 or so.
Okay.
When we had our subdivision meeting the other night, we had like 25 people that attended for our zoning ordinance and subdivision update, and all we did was put it out on Facebook. They had 60 people attend the cemetery, yeah, for the Highlands Festival. So, I mean, I think we're gonna get like 50 people at least. I mean, we sent it out to over 277 realtors. We sent it out to 208 or 152 CLGs. It was 144 addresses in the historic district that got the mailer. So, and it's been on Facebook twice, I think. So we'll put it out one more time. I think at this point we've done. It's just hard to tell if people are going to show up.
Were you able to determine if we get any CEUs for attending toward our?
I know. Oh, for you
For
all,
us,
yes,
yeah.
you would, because
Okay.
that's pretty. It's pretty minimal.
I mean, it's been hard to fill
Yeah.
that requirement,
Yeah,
so, okay.
yeah, and I think you all did for this year because we had a couple of them there
Okay.
for a while. So I think you're fine for this year. But yeah, that would
What
definitely.
about in the wolf whistle? Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
it's for some
Yeah.
reason I never get it or see it. So
Oh,
yeah,
well,
I
Tanya
can.
writes it.
Yeah, I'm
right?
sure she'll put it.
Yeah.
She'd be willing. I don't know
She
when
just
it
needs a
comes.
flyer.
And what
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
what about the county newspaper?
The newspaper in general,
Well,
that'll probably
Washington
cost
County
us
News.
about $1,000, so.
No, as a news article.
We can do a press release.
They're probably desperate
See if
for
they'll
stuff to
pick it
put
up.
in there other than
Okay.
who died or.
Yeah. I can get that going tomorrow. I'll have Katie Garrett. She's our person who does all the outreach stuff. I'll have her draft something up tomorrow.
Oh, I have one other question. The first session, is that for us
It's for everyone.
to attend, or is that for
100%.
people coming from other?
Nope, it's for you as well. All the different questions that anybody could have who works
The
in
1
this.
o'clock one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I gave her that list of all the different topics we kind of mulled over the last few meetings, and we even added cemetery research to that. And she said she might be able to get somebody to actually call in and do a little bit of an online Q&A.
Who's leading that?
Aubrey. What's her last
I
name?
don't know, and we're from DHR.
Vaughn something, which it's a pretty dramatic last name. She's our representative for DHR, so she's the one that organizes pretty much everything there. So
I haven't met her, I don't think.
yeah.
Well, may I ask, I'd like to ask one thing, kind of like Peyton. Just as, this is like an FYI, just for us to just be thinking about. As you know, that our museum, our property is a part of, we want to expand our
Mhm.
footprint to include the museum's property. And as you know, we've received this gift of art, this gift of animal art, as well as we're about to renovate the campus, the lower campus. But the gift of animal art is requiring a new construction wing to house it. And so we have now chosen the architectural firm that's designing it, and we have some concepts. And so I want to, I've sent Mike Pulis, that's what made me think about this. I've sent Mike Pulis a note and asked him if he's in the area to come by and let me tell him, what it looks like it's going, what it's looking like. I just would like for all of us to know too, just the general footprint of the new construction.
Did I see that somewhere? Did you put that?
No.
Where did I see a mock-up of that somewhere?
I
Was
don't
that not?
know. We haven't, it's
Oh.
brand new.
I feel like I saw something and it looked really nice. I don't know where I saw that.
Was that the town? Did you have it in the town council when you
No.
did the presentation of the animals?
No.
Oh,
No.
I don't know. It's very familiar to me.
Where's it, going into the
Well,
parking lot?
No, we had thought maybe it could be added to the top of the art lab, the old county building, and sort of recessed back so that it, not just diminishing in any way the main building. But one of these firms, we had a structural engineering firm's ProSim decide that it's possible if it's a freestanding, not being supported by the art lab. And the part on the north end would probably not be a good idea because the drop is so deep. So with that in mind, one of these three firms suggested that instead of putting it there, we put it on the back of the building and connected by a breezeway into the back of the building
Mm.
and down from the building. So recess down, how if you go into the back of the building.
The
and
back
you
of
park-
the main building?
The back of the main building, if when you park in the very back of it, there's a place to park, and then you go up the steps to get to the back door. And it would be in that, this is a fabulous machine here, right there. Yeah, right there.
Called a computer.
That hillside right there is where it would be, and it would pierce the back of the building on the middle set of windows in that classroom, right there, as a, kind of a breezeway, walkway thing. And I like it a lot because it really, it respects the main building totally. The main building is still the main attraction, and it solves all the problems that we've had in the loading dock and needing to house this new collection, et cetera, et cetera. But of course,
All on one level?
it's 2 levels. The lower level is down at the bottom, buried in the hill right there. And that's where receiving's going to be for art receiving there instead of in the alley. It frees up the alley now to let it be grassy and a place for children to play between the 2 buildings when we're having classes and things like that. And so the upper level, it's level 2, is all the pretty gallery level for this artwork. So I like it, we all like this a whole lot. And it's just a concept right this minute, but I feel like everybody, that I want all of us to know it and also think it's nice. I could bring the conceptuals here next week. My only hesitation, are we still being recorded?
We are.
Yes. Is the fact that it's not ready to be public yet.
Right.
I wouldn't want somebody to grab onto it and put it in the paper.
Then I suggest you don't bring it. I think anything you bring here becomes request foilable the moment it enters our hands. So there you go.
Okay, is there any further discussion of any items? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Boyd,
Aye.
Mr. Owens,
Aye.
Mrs. Hartshorn,
Aye.
Mrs. White,
Aye.
and Mr. Giesler.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Upstairs.